in there. All right. All right, boys, we are back. It's another Watch and Score live stream. It's been a few more weeks than usual, unfortunately, but we are back this time. As usual, well, not so usual because last week Alex missed us, but good to have you back. Alex is on the call. Josh from 86 Boxing. Start with you, Josh. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, good to go. Hanging in there. I've been doing a lot of boxing history talk, so glad to get back in the mix. Looking forward to this fight. Jarmaine Taylor being from my home state, so I want to see if this really was a draw or if someone deserved the nod. So interesting.
That's a spoiler right there. How are you doing, Alex?
Doing well. Good to be back. Just had a lot going on moving, but man, it feels good to be here. And hey, everybody, if you're here, go ahead and click that like button. Also, check out my man 86 Boxing if you're a historian. That has a lot of good content there. But yeah, good to be back.
Excellent. Good to hear. Good to have you both back as well. It's good to have some people already in the chat. So shout out to Crypto Zoro Before Men. Keep the comments coming. Hopefully you'll be joining us in the scoring of this fight that we're going to be watching very shortly. We will just have a quick recap over the last couple of weekends worth of events. We'll only touch on some stuff. I'm not sure if you two guys have seen the stream plan that I sent over to you. I'm not sure if there's anything that stood out over the last few weeks that any of you wanted to talk about. If so, just shout out. Alex, looks like you had something to say. Go ahead.
Oh man, so yeah, definitely. I'll try not to run too long, but on June 17th, we had the homecoming of Regis Prograis. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were interested because it was the first fight of his new deal with Matchroom. And I got to say, that was not the performance we expected from either fighter. If you have seen Danilito Zorrilla fight before, he fought against Arnold Barbosa. Is probably the big fight that the biggest fight he had. Normally he's a guy that's going to want to punch with you, land a good right hand. And we saw him utilize footwork to go ahead and give Regis a lot of issues. I believe Danilito Zorrilla was the better boxer of the two in that fight.
Okay.
He was disengaging and engaging when he chose to. And I just, we had this big Loma and Haney discussion in the boxing community here on this page. We all believed it was a great fight that could have went, I believe, either way. And then I see the Zorrilla fight, and even though they had a split decision, I mean, two of the scorecards for Regis was just so one-sided. We talk about the scoring thing and how we want better clarity. And yeah, I would love to sit down with those judges and see exactly why they scored those rounds for Regis when I believe Zorrilla, got the win.
Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't catch the fight myself, but I did see quite a lot of comments on Twitter and stuff before. Started seeing nothing on Twitter this weekend. But Josh, did you want to have your say on that one while Alex has just mentioned it?
Well, I'll say that I actually had Regis winning by a point. Now, I thought it was a very close fight, and it was close enough that you could go either way, in my opinion. So those who had Zorrilla winning, I think that they could make an argument for it. It was one of those fights where there wasn't a lot of sustained action, and oftentimes it was single digits landed punch wise. So that makes it very tough and close for it. But I will say Zorrilla, he fought the fight that he needed to fight to be able to get the victory. I think otherwise, him getting into a firefight or anything of that nature wouldn't have boded well for him. But I do think that he showed that he is on this level, and when he's on his game and he's being attuned to defense, then he could be trouble for a lot of different guys. So I did give Regis the edge, but that being said, very, very, very close fight.
Okay, some interesting comments in there saying in the chat that is saying, imagine if Zarella took a belt with that performance, and as a challenger didn't think Zarella's performance was definitive enough to give him the nod over the champ. So sounds like it was pretty close. Alex has got a different take on that, but that's the beauty of boxing, man. It's subjective.
I just want to say, that's something that has been spewed for many years. You have to take the belt from the champion. Fuck that. That's fucking stupid. Like, it's a fight. It gets scored round by round. It's not like, well, it was close. Let me give it to the champion. I'm sorry. That's A-side bullshit, and we need to get rid of that in boxing. But I get it, right? That is something that people say, and it's pushed. It's regurgitated. Pigs have two stomachs, so they regurgitate their food. Why'd I say that exactly? Because it means nothing to me.
All right, there you go. Interesting. All right, cool. Also, then in recent weeks gone by, we'll leave that one there. Tim Tszyu got a first round stoppage over Campo, who had previously been. Did he get stopped by Errol Spence? I believe so.
Mm-hmm. One round.
That was a good win for Tim Tszyu. Looking forward to some bigger fights for him in the near future. Kazuto Aoka got a decision over Joshua Franco as well. I believe that was over in Japan. That was another fairly big fight in the boxing world, I guess. But why don't we just go over to last night, because that was the most recent and fresh in our memories. In the UK, Savannah Marshall got a majority decision over Franchon Cruz de Zern. That was I think it was one judge scored it even, and then Savannah Marshall got the nod on the other two scorecards. I know, Josh, you said you saw this fight. Do you want to give us your view in it?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and say that Alex and I were on two different ends of the spectrum as it related to the scoring of this fight. Now, it was an ugly fight at times, very ugly. A lot of holding, a lot of bending down, pushing on the head, a mix of all of that, a lot of grabbing, tackling. I think both of them hit the deck at least once, and for Cruz, she might have went down about 3 times. Now, I gave the first 3 rounds to Franchon, just giving that I felt that Savannah Marshall, she was there, she was stalking, but she only landed a few shots in each of those rounds by comparison, and it did look a bit tricky, I would say, or it was tricky from a scoring perspective, thinking about a lot of Franchon's shots were being smothered as well when she was pretty much rushing in. So you had a lot of that, a lot of butting headbutts and things of that nature, just because of the nature of the fight, just being on the inside and it being fairly and a fairly aggressive approach towards it. But I know that some people had it wide for Savannah Marshall. I know me watching it, I didn't agree. I thought that Savannah Marshall had a pretty decent showing in the back end of the fight. Excuse me. But that being said, I think that in some of those rounds where I actually gave it to Franchon, it was because Savannah Marshall, she wasn't throwing as much, she wasn't as active, and Franchon, she was a bit more active in some of those rounds, but that didn't necessarily mean that everything was landing crisp and clean, actually. So I ended up scoring it for. I had Franchon Cruz up by 2 points, 96-94. Now I gave her the 12th round, though that was very close, so I could see that going the other way. And there might have been another 2 or 3 rounds that could have essentially been toss-up rounds. But I felt that Franchon, she was being slighted, and I know I've seen some of the comments and stuff on Twitter and all that. They just viewed her as kind of just rushing in, not really doing anything, or not really throwing punches or headbutting, elbowing, etc. But that being said, I was in disagreement with such. I thought it was a fairly close fight, but that's just me, you know.
Okay. Alex, what's your counter argument to that one? Because I know you had a difference of opinion on this one.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Boz, always here. Always appreciate you, being here with us. Shout out C-Dub, my boy Canna. We got Andre, who said that he came in through Josh's channel. So appreciate everyone, taking the time to be here. And it's time to be educated. That fight was not close at all. In the beginning, I got to give Franchon a lot of credit. She kept her distance. She was picking her shots. And she wasn't getting hit that clean. Savannah warmed up by that 5th round. She has that real ugly herky-jerky style that we kind of see from Tyson Fury. I mean, she is trained by his father, uncle, something like that. But man, I think she was landing the obvious cleaner punches. It was, like I said, it was just so clear, so obvious. She was landing 1-2. She was landing hard jabs. She was mixing it in, right? Franchon wanted to bang. Savannah said, let's bang. And Franchon got banged and had to hold every time she got hit with that hook, every time hit with that overhand right. It was an ugly fight, which is how Franchon always fights, right? She's always sloppy. She's always in there to, she's going to come beat you up. She's definitely very strong, because I felt Savannah could not find her way out of that clinch. But yeah, I think it was quite clear that it was Savannah's fight. She was the better fighter. She was landing the better punches. And, I think it's a travesty that fight was scored as a majority draw, because I think I could have watched it with one eye and still gave Savannah 7 rounds. But to each his own. No,
that's fair enough. I was catching it in glimpses. I had a pretty shitty stream going on, so from what I did see of it, I thought that Cruz started off quite well. She tagged her early on and was trying to get her into that kind of scrap, and then Savannah Marshall just kind of figured her out a little bit, and I kind of sided in with Alex a little bit here. I think her work was a bit cleaner, and I did see also the comments on Twitter like you did, Josh, where it's not a nice style Cruz has got, and she was coming in a lot and kind of almost trying to clinch on and she'd run forward, throw some shots, but then she'd try and grab hold of her at the same time, and it just kind of messed things up a little bit. It wasn't very nice to watch. But yeah, I've got no arguments with the decision. It could have been close. It could have been slightly wider to Marshall. But I guess, as we always say, at least the right person won. So
you got to take it from the home fighter, right?
Exactly. And I guess she didn't quite do that enough. Although if it wasn't for enough encouragement from the sidelines, all I could hear for that whole fight was Clarissa Shields, I think it was, ringside, just absolutely shouting.
I thought she was at the commentary booth. Getting everything she said.
I'd like to have her just sat beside me during the working day, just to encourage me to get shit done. Anyway, that was over in the UK last night. There was another fight also. Dalton Smith stopped Sam Maxwell. Can't get my words out. Pretty concussively. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but yeah, it was a pretty spectacular knockout. I think it was around 7. I think he got the job done. I didn't see the fight because I was watching the other card instead. But I just thought I would mention that one. Let's go over to the States. Time's progressing already. Jared Anderson got a decision over Charles Martin. Go on, Alex. You look geared up to talk about this one.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, when I saw Charles Martin was the late replacement, I said, this is it. We really gonna see what we got here with this great American heavyweight. I was definitely one person that was 100%, Jared Anderson. I think he could, compete with a top 15 heavyweights, maybe even top 10. Charles Martin was a great test, even though everyone talks about, what kind of champion he was, how he became champion, what's happened when he stepped up. But I believe he's been getting better and better, even at his advanced age. And that's what we always want to see with these fighters, right? So when it came to this fight, it was geared in. And Jared, man, offensively, he's exactly what I thought he was. He has really good speed. You can see he hurts people with his power. He never had Charles, really out, but he was definitely causing Charles to stay on that back foot, to try to reset him constantly, because he could not stand in the kitchen with Jared. Um, Defensively, however, I think, another thing that was clear as day, like the Savannah Marshall clearly winning, was Jared Anderson just keeps on leaning back. He just has this terrible tendency to lean back. And you saw Charles Martin, round 5, at the end of the fight, was landing hard, clean left hands. And just watching the fight, you can just, round by round, you said, man, if this was this guy, if this was an Usyk, if this was a Joseph Parker, imagine Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, he's out. He would be out. So definitely hope he's able to progress, fix this issue. But if you watch his last few fights, it's a constant habit. Can he ever break it? The future will will be the best teller. But Jared Anderson, one of the best heavyweights to come up through the U.S. system since probably Deontay Wilder, and I foresee him being more skilled. However, with that big flaw, I'm very worried, and hopefully he gets in a couple more fights and can just keep progressing to get better.
Yeah. I was seeing a few comments this morning, should I say, that fairly critical, I guess, of Jared Anderson's performance. I guess maybe his stock fell ever so slightly in the fact that he was getting caught a few times, at least in the fight. I've not seen it just yet, so I'm just going off what I read. Josh, what have you got to add to that one?
No, I agree with everything Alex said there. I do think that with Anderson, he's 23 years old, so he has time to make some adjustments and things of that nature, especially as he's moving up to take on those top tier opponents. And I guess in theory, this win puts him very much in the mix there as far as the contenders, because by virtue of some rankings, he was already considered to be a top 10 heavyweight. Now, some of that may have been a bit premature, but from a trajectory standpoint, I could understand why that may have been the case. But I do think the situation on defense is very glaring, and you could tell throughout the contest that it's something that he is naturally doing. It's like second nature for him trying to actually bob and weave punches, pulling back, keeping his head up and kind of just jerking his head back. He wasn't using his arms or anything of that nature to block any of those shots. He just seems to just have that fully ingrained in him that he is going to actually try and bob a shot by actually moving. And of course, with Charles Martin being a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, he was able to catch him. And it's not like Martin has any blazing speed or anything of that nature, because Anderson was a speedier fighter, the lighter fighter, and he could move very well. But yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway in terms of what Alex was mentioning as well. How and if so, when will Jared Anderson fix that defensive flaw that has worked thus far for him in the pro ranks? And it worked for him last night, but had that been another heavyweight with more pop, then it could have been a different story. But that being said, outside of those issues, he showed that he is a heavyweight to be aware of, someone to watch, and someone who has that potential for championship title status. So we'll see what he does when he goes back into the lab here, and it'll be interesting to see who his next opponent is as well, because he's now fought someone who was a former world champion, albeit he picked it up via the other fighter, his opponent being injured. But that being said, Martin, of course, had the better resume, had been in there with more of the top guys in the division. So Anderson showed that he can be on that level. It's just a matter of the adjustments he makes here moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a step up, and obviously that's what he's got to do to keep progressing and become one of the main guys in the division, as a lot of Americans are hoping for and expecting, I guess. It'd be quite interesting to see what comes next and how he continues to progress. I'll have to try and catch that fight at some point in the next week or two. All right, let's move things along. Was there anything on the undercard on that one that you wanted to touch on? I can't think.
I mean, there was Arslan, right? So that's the guy. I remember Eye of the Tiger management made it seem that it was like a semifinal, the winners to face each other.
Okay.
So I hope not, because I think Jared needs a little more seasoning, which I feel maybe am I selling Arslan too much? Am I downgrading Jared a little, as well? I don't really think so. It's just damn, I feel like a promoter here. I feel like that fight needs a little more seasoning and cook a little more, right?
Yeah, fair enough. I think everyone's a little bit excited, aren't they, by that Arslan Makhmudov, big scary looking Russian, 60 knockout wins from 17 victories. I just saw someone mention in the chat there, Larry's move, talk about Abdullah Mason. Yeah, I saw this mentioned on Twitter. Looks like a young, upcoming, possible future star. Josh, did you catch Abdullah Mason? And there's lots of hype about him online. Go ahead.
Yes. I've seen him a few different times on a number of different occasions, I would say now. And yes, he looks to have the goods. He had an excellent performance. You can see he's very sharp, and I would presume he's only going to get better. I also think that Tiger Johnson showed that he was he's going to be a pretty solid guy moving forward as well. He's been in some good fights that have tested him the last couple of times. But most certainly right now, the standout prospect, or at least tied to this card, and just looking at it from a top rank standpoint, Abdullah Mason, he is one of those guys. And I want to see him moving forward, see how he adjusts and does additional things. So, I would say that. And we'll just see what's in store as we move forward, for sure.
You in agreement there, Alex? Yeah.
Yeah, no, Abdullah definitely is a guy to keep an eye on. The 135 pound division. We talk about Jared is young. This kid, I think, is like 19, 20, 21. Yeah. So definitely want to see what he what he will turn out to be. Keep throwing that adobo, right? Keep on that seasoning on the young cat. I think definitely a future world champion. I like some of the suggestions people are having. They said for what's his name? I'm sorry, Abdullah Mason, Fortuna. I think that might be a little too fast, but I definitely. I mean, would I mind the matchup right now? No, but it's kind of like once you go to like a former world champion, it's hard to take step backs. So. I say give him a little more time. I do like someone was talking about back to Jared Anderson against Joseph Parker, but I just want to run one fight in between. It's just something. Maybe they call it a confidence booster. Maybe running with that guy. I think it was Zhang. His name is from Kazakhstan, the original opponent. Maybe run that one before trying to jump to a Joe Parker. So, man, we have a lot of young fighters, even especially on Top Rank, that I'm very excited to see. What's in store for them.
Sweet. All right then, I think that covers us then for recent events. Say that again, sorry?
Oh no, someone's talking about Little Mason versus Abner, talking about One Eye Abner Mares.
Rude. All right, okay. Let's move things along then. We'll get into our fight. Let's all become the judge, and that's what we're all here for. We're going to cover Jarmaine Taylor versus Ronald Winky Wright, which happened in 2006. I think it was middle of June. So we just passed that anniversary, whatever that works out as, 17 years or so. Alex is going to have some pages and pages and pages of notes. Give us an introduction, and while Alex does that, make sure everybody that you click on the link in the video description that takes you to the scorecard if you want to score this fight along with us. And before we get started, I will also explain how you can join our scoring group. But give us the introduction, Alex, please.
Absolutely. So, Jarmaine Taylor, Winky Wright. It actually took place June 17, 2006. So, about 17 years ago. So let's start off with the challenger, Ronald Winky Wright, 34 years old, 5'10 and a half, 72-inch reach, from Washington, D.C., but fighting out of St. Petersburg, Florida. All right. He's a former. He had all the belts at junior middleweight at WBO, IBF, WBA, WBC. He unified the IBF, WBA, and WBC, so that was undisputed back then before the WBO was considered part of undisputed. He did that against Shane Mosley and beat him twice. He's 50-3, 25 KOs, number 2 on the ring pound for pound list. Now let's go to Jarmaine Bad Intentions Taylor, 27 years old, 5'11", 74-inch reach from Little Rock, Arkansas, 86 home state. He is the former undisputed middleweight champion, defeating Bernard Hopkins, and the current WBC and WBO and the ring middleweight champion. He is 25-0, 17 KOs. Unfortunately, not on the rings pound for pound list, interesting enough.
Excellent. That's the intro's done. We don't need to listen to Michael Buffer.
I'm interested to see where 86 allegiance is, because I know he's a DC guy now, but he said he's born in Arkansas. So.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Do you keep it real?
Do you have a preference, or are you just straight down the middle?
He's gonna be straight down the middle.
Okay. gotta say that as you're about to score the fight, I guess. Okay, if everyone is on board, I'll just put a link into the YouTube chat. That'll take you directly to the scorecard for this fight if you want to score along with us. Also, if you want to join our scoring group, which is where we're going to be able to see our average scorecard and compare our scorecards side by side, you need to be a registered member. So you need to register on fight-score.com. And then you can join our scoring group. The scoring group password... it's a code. You need to put in a code to join any group, and that is in the video description. So once you click into the group, you'll be able to see all of our scorecards as we score the fight, and everyone else that does as well who is in the scorecard. Hopefully that explains things. Never mind if not, we're just going to get on with it.
All right, press some button, score, bam.
All right, straight into the action. Round 1, let's go.
It's interesting, right? We didn't really get to talk about it, maybe at the end, but we have an undisputed versus undisputed fight coming, and this is 2 former undisputed fighters fighting each other.
Just a comment just there about like the concepts need a show for recent events and news, then a separate show to score old fights. Yeah, we would kind of like to do that, but it's just a time thing, to be honest. It's the easiest just to get together and do it all on one long show. But, something to consider for future, maybe.
Man, we're off to a fast start. Normally Winky, he's known as a defensive wizard, high guard, but he is really coming at Jermain. I wonder what it is, like game plan wise, to back Jarmaine Taylor up.
Yeah, I was noticing that as well. Winky's coming out aggressive.
Taylor also wasn't the most offensive fighter in his time, maybe was he really? Both kind of technicians.
Yeah, man, Jermaine. Ooh, man, he's throwing some hard right hands. Yeah, bad intentions for sure, huh?
That's a great nickname.
Yeah. Jermain always had a pretty solid jab, and we know that Winky's jab is very solid as well, coming out of that high guard. So it makes for an interesting matchup because both are aware of using that jab and setting up punches.
And man, Winky's just being very aggressive. He's landing a lot of good jabs, and man, just as we know, defensively, he just seems to be slipping and catching a lot of shots. Yeah, sneaky little body shot. Ooh, but got blasted by a right hand from Jarmaine Taylor. I would definitely say the right hand is Jarmaine Taylor's calling card.
Yeah, I think he's done some effective counter shots so far. Right to come
Winky
out.
Or Taylor?
Taylor.
Yeah, with that guard, Winky does catch a lot of those punches, or at least they hit the gloves. Mm-hmm. But from a judging standpoint, you never know how they're seeing it, especially if they're on the opposite side.
Right,
It's true.
especially you see him. He's has the tight guard, and he'll get the guard hit, but he'll lean, so it looks like he's
It
getting
looks
hit.
like it looks like there's some force behind it, and it's a lot
Yes, I saw that nice
skirmish.
counter right from Taylor. I would say both fighters are doing what they probably want to do.
It's a really good first round.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Oh, yeah.
expecting this.
I mean, straight out the gate, it looks like they're in round 8.
Yeah, right.
That went so
Woo!
quick.
Not a
Not forget
ton
the
separated
score.
them there.
That was
Not a
one of
ton.
the best first rounds I've ever seen in my life.
It went so fast. It was like a ladies' fight. 2 minutes. Okay, everyone in the chat, you don't disappear on us. Give us who you thought won that round, because I need some help.
Right?
So Boz says the first round obviously goes to Taylor. He's fishing for some disagreement.
Let's see if they can keep up with this pace. But yeah, very good start.
Hey man, if you're watching, please hit that like button. Appreciate y'all.
And subscribe if you've not already done so. That'll help.
See, man, Winky is stalking.
He's going for any.
We watched another fight with Winky, the Fernando Vargas. That's a previous fight we did. Make sure you check that out in the video section. Winky, man, was very impressive offensively in that fight as well against the young Vargas.
Yeah, I think all of us had Winky edging Vargas in that fight.
Yeah, believe so. I wonder if you mentioned the build up to this. Taylor had already beaten Shane Mosley twice, had he?
It was Winky.
Oh, sorry, Winky had sorry.
And he was coming off the Felix Trinidad win, which was, he said, was the biggest win of his career.
Yeah, some great wins.
Yeah, I cried. I literally cried. I was probably like 13, 14. I watched that fight. I remember I was in a hotel room with my dad, and Winky just dismantled him. Tears came down, man. Felix Trinidad was, the greatest ever to me
Legit, yeah,
at that time. Ooh, that was a nice left hook. Okay.
Oh. I think we went out on the actual stream on the YouTube.
Oh, have we? Yeah, shite. Tattooed copyrighted audio. Oh man, this hasn't happened for a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Might have to take that moving approach, or where the multiple boxes and the fight being a little bit smaller.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'll leave it on the big fight mostly, but maybe if I could try and hide that Fox logo as well.
Mm-hmm. The stream is down right now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and cover the logo, see if that helps. Okay, looks like we're back. Looks like we are back.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Back like we never left.
Sorry about that, folks. We'll try and continue along, and hopefully we'll be able to get through this. All right, let's continue.
This fight was actually in Memphis, Tennessee. About 9,678 in attendance.
Not bad.
Oof, man. That right hand by Jarmaine Taylor is just heavy.
Yeah, that was one of his strong suits. As long as he was energized and gassed up, that was always a threat.
Jesus.
Sorry.
We down.
Oh, down again.
Shit. Oh man, I don't know how we're gonna get through this.
Was there another version of this fight out there? Let me see. I'm gonna look as well.
It's saying it's because of the audio or because of the visual? It doesn't state.
It says audio and video.
Okay.
Yeah, there is another video. I mean, this one's been up for 10 years, so I don't understand how that works.
Right. 46 seconds of the second round.
So there's one. I see with the HBO feed in there. It's been up 3 years.
Yeah, that one there. Where was we? 45 seconds left of round 2. Okay, let's give this another try. We'll go from 1 minute left in this second round. Hopefully people are still with us, stick with us. Hopefully we can get through this. I can also
Appreciate all y'all.
I'll mute. Yeah, the
We're good to go.
video's muted. Let's just get
This
it going.
round was heating up.
We'll keep an eye on that.
Oh man, wow! I didn't see that left hand land the first time, so I'm glad we ran that back. You see, Jermaine Taylor is taking that step back. He is welcoming Winky coming forward, trying to land that right. Oof, another good right hand. You see that nice hook too, man. Jermaine Taylor is looking sharp.
Nice body shot.
I had watched both of the Bernard Hopkins fight, and Jermaine Taylor's definitely better in this fight, though we all know Bernard is tough to look good against.
Certainly.
But Winky is too.
Yeah.
Oof, man, nice counter jab. Wow. Okay, great.
Oh, damn it.
Gone again.
They're just telling us no on this one. I see. Let's see.
Okay, we're back. Sorry, Boz, I'd muted the stream just while I was getting that sorted out. We've got a little plan. Hopefully we might be able to continue and get through this one. Let's try and give it a go. See what happens. That was the end of the round. I have no idea what happened.
Oh man, the guys were hitting each other. It was great.
It was a close one, but good moments from both.
Boss, stop reporting the stream. I agree.
Yeah, man, just real. I mean, I just feel that Jarmaine Taylor is definitely on. Seems to have his time and his distance. I think Winky's gonna have to make an adjustment. Wow, those punch stats was insane. That was a nice left hand, Jesus. Ooh. Look at that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is nip and tuck thus far.
Into round 3.
Oh,
We are back.
damn it. It's like the eye in the sky is watching now.
Yeah.
You reckon at some point they get, like, literally
they're famous for promoting Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson, and we're in the same building. We're over here in the FedEx Forum in Memphis, the big old pyramid.
Okay, sorry. We was actually mostly muted then, apart from the last minute. I'm sorry. Okay, this is the last attempt. I think we've got a couple of filters to go over the top of this video to try and block it out. I've got a little moving GIF thing. You might struggle to see it, but unfortunately, this is where we are. We've got 2 minutes 41 seconds of round 3 to go, and let's see if we can just get through it on 2 of these screens.
Here we go, man. Winky just walking Jarmaine Taylor down, man. Such a good, accurate jab, and it's just one out of one just snapping his head back, keep pushing him back. But I really like Jarmaine Taylor. I mean, you see that work that he just did. He's very accurate, and I mean, like I said, I think Jarmaine Taylor is looking very comfortable in there.
Yep.
Believe we got a little wobble. And now Winky does not look comfortable. I'm sorry, Jermaine. I think he got hit by a good shot and is trying to recover.
Yeah. Winky is consistently persistent right now, keeping that guard up. Not afraid to march in.
Give Taylor credit. He is when he's thrown, he is throwing with exactly what his name says.
Without a doubt.
Bad intentions.
And this is righty versus lefty, so everyone knows that backhand's important. But man, Winky is definitely a man on a mission right now. Just that jab is just like you said, consistent, and he's landing nice hard shots. He's literally walking Jarmaine Taylor down into the corners.
Apologies, Buzz. I know you can't see much, but there's not a lot we can do at this stage.
Look at that jab. Put him in the corner. Okay. Another light left hand by Winky. You see Jermaine Taylor's throwing, but he's just not really landing.
Yep, a lot of that being blocked by the gloves. Winky keeps pressing.
Definitely high-level stuff there. Definitely enjoying what I'm seeing. I mean, Winky Wright coming forward with the high guard. Man, just like I said, that jab it's an elite jab we're seeing right there, folks.
All right. Well, hopefully, it looks like this is working. We might be in business.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, I've been distracted for the first 3 rounds, so my scores mean shit.
See, Jermaine Taylor is not playing around. Neither is Winky. See, Winky throwing the combinations now. Those are nice body shots. Very nice body shots. That right and left by Winky.
So he wants to be. Stick him on the ropes.
Man, I feel those. Ooh, man, what a right hand by Jarmaine Taylor, man. He kept trying to fight to that guard. He tried to go around the guard, and then he went down the middle.
And for Taylor, he's better off keeping it in the middle of the ring or off the ropes. His back against the ropes, certainly not his strong suit.
Yeah,
I do like what Winky is doing as well, in the sense that while he could be considered a defensive fighter, given that guard, he is very attuned to what he can do on offense. And so he's actually very busy. You know, if you look at it from a punch stat perspective.
You know, combination blocked. But what are the judges seeing? What are they hearing, right? Another nice man. That guard is just insane, huh?
So you can seamlessly pop that jab out of there like it's nothing.
Taylor's not that hard to hit, you know, comparing to most elite guys, but you have to respect him because he can and will run right back at you.
Oh, yeah.
Oof, I think he got that right hand in. Good round. Oof. Jesus Christ, huh? What a great fight.
Oh, yeah.
That's one a round of two halves, really, isn't it? Winky had a good start. And Taylor's absolutely.
Yeah, this latter portion, Jermain's launching them.
Well, this is the end of round 4.
Hello, Beagle 4747. Post workout, good man, good to have you here. We've been delayed slightly through some issues, but we're okay now. Let's have a pause in a moment.
Beagle. We appreciate everyone still here kicking it with us.
Yeah, apologies for the delay and the technical issues, but thanks for still being here if you are. Let's get this score in and let's have a look at the scores on the system. All right. So, looks like then we have a couple of scores here. Looks like Boz has duplicated. That's fine. So you both have it 38 apiece. That's 2 rounds each. And I've got it 39-37 to Taylor. So that's interesting. Bear in mind, I've not really been watching it all that closely with the technical issues going on. But let's have a look at our comparison. Alex's scorecard is on the left and mine's on the right. Both scored round 1 for Taylor. We both scored round 2 for Taylor. Exactly the same, all green. We then scored for Wright in round 3, and then that last round we had a difference of opinion. I scored it for Taylor, whereas Alex scored it for Wright, and he's left a helpful comment.
Close.
Winky with a great start, but Taylor had a good ending to the round. Close, but like Winky's work more. That was a mouthful to say. Excellent. we'll do some comparisons of yours to scorecards next. Let's continue.
Yeah, this is going to be a close one, I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Got the faintest of commentary going on as well, just a slight bit of background. I know, I'll put the all right. Let's do that. All right, round 5.
And Birmingham, okay. We all know him from Keith Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
Nice uppercut by Taylor. It's been the story of the last few rounds, right? Winky pressing forward, but Taylor, man, always has an answer.
Punches in bunches from Winky. So, yes, he could be very much offensive when he needed to be.
Yeah, right. Everyone always says offensive, but as we've seen, this is our second fight rewatching. Like you said, he can be a top level offensive minded fighter.
Yeah. He certainly became known as a defensive fighter, a defensive master, if you like. But still, you know, not a boring fighter. It's still fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I think someone said it, man. Winky is definitely underrated.
Yeah, definitely.
Without a doubt.
Nice one too by Jermain. Well, Taylor came back. I think he might have nipped Taylor's chin.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see if Taylor continues to fight on the back foot for the entirety of the fight, which has been the case thus far, with Winky really pressing the action, and of course Taylor bouncing back, doing some countering with combinations. But we'll see if Taylor takes charge at any point.
A few got through there in the corner.
So he's taking punches right now.
See, that's not where you want to be, Jermaine.
One thing I noticed with Jermain is he kind of loads up that right hand and makes it kind of long sometimes. You see a lot of her go like this instead of just coming straight. But so dangerous because he's fast and strong.
All right, good. That was a good one. I felt that was a more, not to sway anyone, but I felt that was a more obvious Winky Wright round there. Jarmaine Taylor still seems to have some juice and pop to his punches. That being said, he was throwing them in spurts only when Winky was starting to tee off on him more. So we'll see if he continues to fight at this pace, but we had to imagine he wouldn't be as aggressive in the later rounds as he was in the first couple of rounds, which has tended to be the kind of theme of his fights.
Yeah. My percentage scores don't reflect it, but I'd say that that was the most convincing round yet for a single winner. And obviously, Adamant just scored it to Wright. He's in agreement with us for once.
Yeah. I forgot there for a second, but yeah, Jarmaine Taylor had the great Emmanuel Stewart in his quarter.
Nice. I think they've slowed down somewhat, haven't they, in this round?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely favoring Taylor so far, the slower pace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice left hand by Winky.
less pressing by Winky, and Taylor can kind of dictate play a bit more, can't he?
Yep, and as mentioned, yeah, Taylor he's always had a pretty solid jab. So as long as he was keeping that being the leading punch, it worked out for him a little better.
I feel that though, like Taylor's one punch away from being hurt. He's just getting hit clean every now and again, you know? And
Yeah,
he's just leaving his head on the line a lot.
that is true. He's not kind of leaning forward, was kind of putting it out there for Winky to just tap.
It's kind of going in a very similar vein to how Taylor would end up fighting against Cal Frock. If you remember, it was kind of this. He was just being a bit cagey throughout the fight, and obviously Froch got to him at the end.
Yeah.
12th round, right?
yeah, last round stoppage. Pulled it out of the bag. And it was one of
And
them
yet
where he forced him back into the car, if I remember rightly. A bit like what
yeah.
Wright's been doing here when he's had success.
Some good moments for both in that one. Pace slowed a little bit, but still a decent volume.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Great Emmanuel Stewart.
All right, round 7. Got a draw.
Taylor again finding himself on the ropes. But I will say that when he seems to be hurt, he'll fight back, fight fire with fire. That can also be a gift and a curse, really.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the Carl Froch fight, and of course the Kelly Pavlik fight.
Yeah. There was a nice little comeback there, but he's. Yeah, he's kind of back on the ropes side there.
Like Winky said, you are not grabbing me.
Yeah. I think
Oof.
Winky's coming forward, trying to come forward and pressing back up against the corner of the ropes again. Probably learned from that last round that it wasn't the way to fight.
Yeah, Jermaine's just, at his size and athleticism, it just, it doesn't it's not going to go well for Winky, as like you said, we saw last round. So put him in those corners. That's Winky's most successful path to victory, as we've been seeing in the fight.
Yeah.
You know, watching old Winky Wright fights, man, his lead hook to the body has always been successful, and it's something that you never hear the commentators really speak of. But he really, he opens up the head a lot with that lead hook to the body. It's really nice.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like Jermaine's like uncoordinatedly coordinated. I don't know, for lack of a better term. Like
Yeah,
it works for
it
him, but it gets
works.
him in trouble too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Winky is not giving him any slack, so he's not getting those moments to rest.
Man, those right hands. I know he's catching some of them, but Jesus Lord, they look hard.
Oh yeah.
It's been an interesting round, I would say. I think it's definitely been a seesaw.
It's close. Both had the moments. Did, did that just skip to the next round? I think it did, didn't it? Yeah.
Oh, it jumped.
It jumped straight into the next round. I think.
Oh, or maybe not.
I will pick a winner of that round. I will.
Yeah, Beagle has just said those punches still hurt even when caught. Rattles the brain. But is it technically a scoring punch if it's been blocked, even if it does some kind of damage?
Oof, nice uppy.
Are you ahead now of us because we've just seen that replay?
That was a nice uppercut right there.
Okay, round 8. Oh, that's a nice uppercut. Well, ahead of the stream when I was putting tweets out there, someone responded saying it was I think he said an awkward fight or something like that to score.
Oh, okay. I
And
was going to say awkward.
I think he might have said that that Taylor made it awkward or something like that. And then I was thinking, like, on paper it sounds like the styles could clash, not in a very good way and stuff. But it's been a really good fight. It's actually been action packed and interesting.
I'm glad 86 was definitely pressing for it. So definitely been a great fight, great watch.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those where you can see judges or someone scoring favoring certain aspects of both fighters.
Like Henny Loma, right?
Yeah, essentially.
It's been definitely a slower pace round again.
Yep.
But it looks like things are starting to heat up.
Yeah, Taylor not getting those opportunities for those breaks. So he found himself just catching About a 5-punch combination right there. But of course, he bounces back with his own.
Through a nice combo back. Kind of still stuck up in a corner against the ropes. That's where Winky wants him, really.
Yep.
And he's catching Taylor standing straight up and, just literally walking side to side instead of trying to, step his way out. Man.
Winky caught one coming in there, I think.
He did, but I feel like he answered as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
End of round 8.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, this is a pretty close fight, nip and tuck.
Oof.
Just a bit.
Feel like we're at the park, you know what I'm saying? One's going up, on the seesaw, then the other one. All right, jump.
I'll take a pause there. What we can do is we can get up our average scorecard, I guess. Let me get that up.
How do I have it scored? Okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Ooh.
Okay, there we go. So then, average scorecard between 3 of us, and then Boz scored a few rounds as well. I'm not sure if he's continued. But how we have it, the first 2 rounds to Taylor, the round 3 to Wright, and round 4 back to Taylor. I think that sounds like my scorecard. And then we've got round 5 to Wright, fairly convincingly. Maybe that was the one I highlighted was the more convincing round at that time. That was a big percentage there. Round 6 we scored for Taylor, controlling the action. We've got an even round. Round 7.
Even.
And then round 8 we've collectively given to Wright, almost up towards 60%. So that is an overall of Jarmaine Taylor 4 rounds, Winky Wright 3 rounds, and then that even round in there as well. Cool. And just for the record, I might have given an even round. It was a close one. Round 7 was close. We said that at the time.
Yeah, I would say so.
We'll continue. Okay, Beagle, not, for the record, I'm not texting and driving. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, thanks for being with us, Beagle. Yeah, he's another frequent visitor.
Now, did they butt heads? That's all Winky pointing at his eye.
Yeah. Oh, man. Last night is catching up to me.
Stay in there, Alex.
Sunglasses and Advil. Last night was mad real.
None of that.
So is Winky fading, right? I think that's the biggest question because it's been definitely noticeable, the slower pace.
Slowed down, hasn't it?
Yeah.
He's 34 years old, a guy that's gotten the short end of the stick a lot, had to travel, had no promoter, had to fight in Europe. Now here's his big chance, just coming off the Tito Trinidad fight, but is it too late for Winky to dig deep? Does he not have it anymore? That's part of the great storyline of this fight here.
Certainly.
So this pace is going to favor Taylor because he's going to come with those combinations eventually.
Yep. And if he continue to work that jab, if he can continue to do so in the middle of the ring as he's doing there, with Winky throwing less shots as he is now, then certainly that can sway things from the judge's perspective.
As flawed as Jermaine Taylor may seem, as he's getting backed up into the ropes, allowing combination once again, man, does he have grit, determination,
Oh yeah.
obvious physical ability. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's oozing with physical ability. Like it's quite a sight to watch how he can just unleash his punches, the ferocity, the speed. You know, it's it's
And,
quite special.
if I recall correct,
Ooh,
Taylor was
left
an
hook.
Olympic bronze medalist,
Mm.
so he had some success on the amateur end. Yeah, some heavy shots there from
Scott.
Winky.
Yeah, that jab has just been landing constantly. I mean, we kind of stopped talking about it, but it's been consistent.
Oh yeah.
Man, interesting because with the commentary and how I believe how that round went.
Yeah, that was close. Winky came on towards the tail end, but Taylor did put in a lot of good work in the beginning. Hmm.
Yeah, I like Taylor's work there. What he got in some good shots.
Mm.
Headbutt going in the head
Oh
clash.
yeah. You can certainly expect it to happen when you have orthodox and southpaws in the mix.
Give the last round to Wright. Okay. Beagle says that it looks like Winky throwing jabs falling forward.
Mm.
Kind of that's what he's been doing, trying to get Taylor back to the ropes with varying success.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can tell, of course, Winky's guard isn't as high, and of course that volume has slowed a good deal compared to the earlier portions of the fight.
Yeah,
When he,
that was a good observation. Yeah, I didn't notice it till you said it. Yeah, that high guard is definitely not the same.
yeah, when he's working at his best, he has that high guard just popping those shots out of there effortlessly.
I know I've mentioned it to you before, Josh, but I never actually watched Jermaine Taylor, which is now I see is ridiculous. Why? How could I not? For what he lacks in technique, because they say he was a technician, which I mean I can kind of see that. I think he's very sloppy, but
Yeah,
once again, the physical ability is just remarkable. It's just like his own style, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
yeah, very much a physical fighter in there.
I mean, he's throwing nice stuff here, but a lot of that is being blocked.
Mm.
Yeah,
He's just so wide at times, but man, he's just so fast.
Yeah.
but this is also where Winky is having those lulls where he's blocking shots, but he's not throwing much.
Yeah.
Right. The turn of the high guard, baby. Ooh, got countered. Jesus.
Oh, nice.
What a strange round, huh? It's like your turn. No, my turn.
Yeah. Oh man.
Ooh. What? He's saying a headbutt
Head,
again?
Yeah, I saw a little
there was
bit of contact between those domes.
little nudge, but then he got caught as well.
Definitely, absolutely. Great observation, Lennox.
It's been a fun round. We've had a couple of quieter ones, haven't we? And this one's opened up again.
I could definitely see someone's,
How do you score that?
wanting to score it one way, but I think, I think the clearer punches were landed by one gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Championship rounds. Taylor won the last round.
Ooh. Yeah. Winky knows. Oh man.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
great
you got to get out of there, Taylor. That eyes closed. That's not a good spot. You are,
Oh yeah.
Winky backed up,
pushing them back.
Winky doing a lot of talking to the ref, huh? I like that stutter step by Winky, man. Trying to get Taylor to bite. Foot feint. Couldn't think of the word.
He definitely looks like he's more in control this round, doesn't he, Winky?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's dictating everything, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Slowed down slightly, but Taylor's not doing anything either.
We haven't seen many times just happen, but them step on each other's feet. Winky did though, just as soon as I said it. Oh, nice left hook by Taylor.
Oh yeah.
And this is what Taylor's been doing, man. That last 90 seconds, minute, just starts unleashing these hard combinations. Yeah. I don't agree with that. Mm-hmm.
Interesting round right here for sure.
I disagree. I think it was easy.
It's interesting. Did you say we'll win the last fight? We got the the last round will win the fight.
Power punches are practically identical. So it's been an evenly fought fight.
Motherfucker. I bet he felt like saying fucking dickhead.
All right, last round.
Last round.
So, as I often do, I look at my scorecard and I kind of feel bad to one of the fighters.
Are you getting a little lopsided?
Slightly.
Interesting.
I haven't even looked at mine. The score and move back to the other screen.
Yeah, I had to look, but I think that both fighters should want this final round.
Absolutely.
Just given how it's gone.
Yeah, it doesn't. It feels like it's close, doesn't it? None of them should at this stage be confident.
Absolutely. Fun fight. Very glad we're watching it. Glad whoever is with us. Appreciate you. Hey, if you haven't done so, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel as well. We got more great fights coming soon.
Not a lot of urgency from either fighter right now, even though they both need
all that shit we talked, right?
That's because both corners are going, nah, you won this fight, you won this, it's fine.
Now Winky has to answer back double.
Yeah.
Scrappy.
No. Nice counter, right? Yeah, he can win as long as he doesn't get hit and hits him. Thank you, Lennox. No shit.
Crowd's on the feet, but it's not really been a spectacular 12, has it? Or is these the days where every fucker gets into the ring when the bell goes, so they're all on the feet, ready to go?
Oh, shit.
I thought Winky would do more in that round.
Yeah, seriously. Especially, we touched on it, right? How many times has he been quote unquote robbed or like in fact, we felt like he should have got edged the decision out and it didn't go his way.
Yeah, that makes my scorecard even wider.
Well, we're gonna find out.
Didn't even consider that they were right there by Arkansas. Yeah, that's right. Memphis is West Tennessee. Southwest, right?
Yep. That's true. You also have a West Memphis, Arkansas.
Okay, that's right. All right.
Very good fight. Very good fight.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful fight to watch. That was very entertaining. Saw such skill. It was a pleasure to watch it with you guys.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh yeah,
No, I enjoyed it.
always, always a pleasure.
Hey,
Always.
we got through it. It was touch and go for a while there, but we got to the end. That in itself is an accomplishment.
Yeah, man.
I say we got through it. I mean, we're still watching the stream. It could cut us off any second now.
That happened to us before.
Yeah, right by the decision, weren't it? Can't remember which one that was.
Big knot there on Taylor's head.
Wow, never a good sign when it takes this long to
Yeah,
tally up those scores.
Just thinking I might have to skip ahead here. I'm gonna skip.
Here we go. Yeah, finally.
Just increase the volume a bit.
Scores the bell. 115-113 for Taylor. Ray Hawkins scores it. 115-113 for Wright. Melvina Lathan scores the bell. 114-114.
Oh no!
Ray split. This bout is a draw. Jarmaine Taylor retains his middleweight championship.
Ew. Booze ring around.
Absolutely. I wouldn't mind seeing this fight again.
Too bad we didn't get it again.
No, I was gonna say
Right.
they never rematched, did they? I wonder why that was.
I think it was about money.
Okay. Interesting.
Wow, what a fun, great fight. Honestly, I was getting anxious watching it. Honestly, I felt myself wanting to bite my nails, and I wanted to stand up a couple times. I was holding back.
Well, just an overview there of our scorecard. So, Alex absolutely agrees with that decision. It was a draw. But yeah, you can see I got 116, 113, and Josh scored it 115, 113. So yeah, we both scored it to Jarmaine Taylor, just so that's clear there. I'm going to see how your twos compared, because for a while there, you both was kind of even, neck and neck.
Mm-hmm.
But we were different. I think it's probably
okay.
going to be all over the place.
Yeah, look at this. In the first 4 rounds, there's 2 red squares there. So even though after 4 you both had it 2 rounds each, you had it in different rounds. So it shows how close this fight was each round. So that's interesting. So here we go. I've got Alex on the left and Josh on the right hand side. Let's get past them 4. And then again, we've got another red box there. So you agreed on rounds 5 and 6. Difference of opinion on round 7. Round 8, you both were in agreement. And round 9, both to Taylor. Round 10, both to Taylor. Round 11, both to Wright. And round 12, both to Taylor. So I guess that last half of the fight, it kind of went a little bit more decisively, I guess, the rounds. There seemed to be more of a winner in each of those rounds. So you were more unanimous in that regard. So you had 12 out of 9 scores matching, but no unanimous rounds, absolutely. And 2 rounds you had reasons matching. Okay, but those percentages around at the bottom of both of your scorecards there kind of tell a tale of that fight of how close it was. Alex is slightly wider, but still 48.75% to 51.25. And yours is really close, Josh, 50.83 to 49.17. That's about as close as you're going to get it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not. Do you think that that's a controversial decision then? A draw?
Yeah, I wouldn't say controversial. Very close. Couple of swing rounds. But that being said, yeah, I wouldn't say controversial. No,
No.
after looking at it at this point and just kind of seeing how things flowed through the course of the fight, you had some rounds where Taylor was stronger. He was on his game. You had others where it was the case for Winky Wright. And then there at the tail end, especially just thinking about that 12th round, that was an opportunity right there that probably was missed for Wright.
Yeah.
But certainly one of those close fights that could have gone either way.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of rounds in there, isn't there, which, you could have gone for either man. So I guess that in itself, you can see where those 3 scorecards come from. But then obviously, one scored it one way, one scored it the other, and then someone else has scored it a draw. Absolutely fine with that. Just quickly looking at our combined scorecard, we'd have had it 116, 113, and that's got that even round in there. So that's slightly more one-sided in Jarmaine Taylor's favour.
Yeah.
We didn't get to put I'm not sure if the actual 3 judges' scorecards, round by round scores, are available anywhere. That'd be quite interesting to see, in this system, how that would look, how many rounds that they agreed on and such. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll look for that after the fact and put a video out for that as well. We will have a look after the stream's done. So yeah, cool. That was a great fight. A fun one to watch. And there'll be more to come in the future, so make sure that you are subscribed to the channel if you're not already done so. And while you're there, please like the video. That would really help us. Let's have a look at what's coming up in the not too distant future. I don't think there's too much, actually, from memory that's worth writing home about. Let me just get box rec up. Beautiful. We're going to say something there, Alex? Sorry.
Yeah. I guess we can save it for the end. But
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we have 2. We got welterweights. I would say, let me see
Let's
where
have a
you
look.
are at. Because, I mean, you have Romain Villa earning
Yes.
his shot at defeating Rashidi Ellis, facing off against Jerron Ennis.
Ennis.
I think it's
fight.
going to be a great fight. I think it's a beautiful style clash. Romain Villa is coming to get you, right? Maybe it's not round 3, maybe it's not round 4, but if you don't, I think if you don't get him out of there, you're going to have a very tough fight come round 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm very looking forward to see what Jerron is going to do against this style, because this is not a guy that came to lay down.
Yeah, good test for him, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to see. I think it's kind of like with Jared against Charles Martin. This guy's not a former champion, but still, we saw what he can do against, a really good boxer against Rashidi. So now it's Jerron's turn, and
that was an upset, wasn't it, as well?
absolutely. Yeah. I actually had Rashidi winning, but I mean, he got dropped 2 times towards the end of the fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so expectations then, Josh. Go what you're thinking on this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very, very good fight. I saw Roman Villa. He was brought in as a opponent against one of, I believe, Golden Boy's prospects, Boca Chica, and man, he was handling him. He was landing some heavy shots, especially early on. It looked like the fight was going to end early, but Boca Chica weathered the storm, and Villa, he continued to press, and he won that fight. And then seeing him, of course, what he did with Rashidi Ellis, I think his power certainly carries throughout the duration of a fight. And those were 2 good tests, kind of his introduction to sort of a wider audience. And I think he's going to come with it in this Jerron Ennis fight. So it's a very good matchup, very intriguing matchup, because Villa has the type of power that we'll kind of see how Jerron Ennis reacts if he's touched with something super nice and hard from Roman Villa. Now, Ennis, of course, he excuse me, he's on that trajectory to be one of the top 147 pounders, especially once we get Errol Spitz and Terrence Crawford, once they do their thing, and then kind of see where they go from there. And Errol's already mentioned he's potentially moving up. So Jerron Ennis, this is his opportunity right here to kind of stamp his name and say, okay, yes, I am the real deal. I am that guy you can count on next. And I look forward to seeing how he handles a guy who can really punch.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely an intriguing one. I was just looking into Villa's record earlier when I was getting set up for the stream. Interesting record. Like say, got big numbers there. 24 wins out. 24 stoppages from 26 wins. It is worth noting though his last two fights are the big step up fights, and he has gone the distance in both of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, being like I say, he's clearly got some power. He's Colombian, you know, the South Americans are notorious for coming over to the UK and wrecking our guys. So yeah, it'll be a nice test for Jarmaine Ennis to see how he does. You know, he's got a perfect record. 30 wins, 27 knockouts himself. We know he carries power. It's exciting to watch. I've been high on Boots for a few years now since I saw him. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how he does here. And then obviously we've got Spencer Crawford coming up. Ennis is going to be in the mix up at the top of that division. Who else is lingering around there? We've got Virgil Ortiz Jr. we're going to discuss in a minute. Yeah, I guess there might be a couple in the division below. Might be looking to come up at some point, maybe.
I don't think that matters. I don't think any of these 140 pounders are going to mess with Virgil if he can stay in the division, or Jerron Boots. Wait, should we do predictions
for this one?
Yeah.
Go for it. You go first, Alex.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I think Villa's going to come, but I think this is probably going to be a little too much for Villa. I'm expecting Ennis to close the show. I'm thinking around late round stoppage. I'll say round 10, Boots Ennis.
Okay, Josh.
I didn't think Alex was going to go there, but I'm on that same boat, that same ship. I think that Ennis, he has to know that the stakes are at their highest at this particular point, and he knows he didn't look good in that last fight when they were actually promoting him and putting him out there as the next big thing, and he was the co-main event on that Davis card, which did well. Davis and Hector Garcia, just thinking about some eyes seeing him, so I think he knows he's going to have to look good in this one. And while Villa does have power, fundamentally, Jerron Ennis should have enough to be able to break him down and probably get him out there a little bit later on, especially if he's of the ilk that we think he is.
Absolutely, I think he is. I'm gonna go with that, but I think he might do it a little bit earlier. I think more mid rounds, maybe nice. 5, 6, 7, 8 around there. He might undo him quickly. Like I say, he needs to put on a show, doesn't he? He needs to get his name out there as the other top guy of the division after Spencer Crawford.
This is kind of a homecoming fight as well. It's only about an hour or two from Philadelphia.
Okay.
It's like 2 hours.
Yeah, I see that. Okay. In the chat there, Rodolfo Rivera, good to see you in the chat, Rodolfo. Thanks for coming by. He's just mentioned he's on the lookout for Edwin de los Santos. Some Bay Area rappers have been shouting him out.
That's very, very interesting. How the hell did Edwin de los Santos get on Bay Area rappers' radar?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about, but what can you tell us about Edwin de los Santos, Alex?
Oh, man, big puncher. Definitely a dude. He's known for beating the crap out of Rayo Venezuela on short notice.
Okay.
So he's definitely a guy that's been trying to get big fights against Shakur Stevenson, Isaac Cruz. And he pulls Joseph Adorno, who's a good, solid fighter. We last saw Adorno on the Matias versus Ponce card. He's a guy that competes, but doesn't beat the better talent. So we're going to see who Edwin de los Santos is, because if you recall, he was on a ShowBox and after 3-4 rounds, gassed out and got outboxed by William Foster. It was quite one-sided. So bounce back, and we're going to see where he is after this Adorno fight.
Okay, yeah, just seeing there that loss came in his first fight over in the States. And then, like you say, he's had a couple more fights, 2 KO wins back to back. Yeah, okay, that'll be a good test for him. Have you got anything to say to that, Josh?
No. In seeing who he was, I saw the name. I wasn't thinking, I didn't know who he was at that particular point. But now seeing this, I do recall him. So yeah, this should be a good fight. We'll see where Joseph Adorno is as well. This is a nice little matchup that could do wonders for both guys if were they to win. So that's all I have.
Okay, if you was a Bayside rapper, you'd know who he was, but you're not. So there we go. Anything else to shout about on this one, boys, before we move on?
Decent co-main. Elvis Gomez is a top Cuban amateur that has been put on the fast track, but dealing with injuries. So we'll see where he is. Marquise Taylor is a dude that we've seen him showbox a lot. So yeah, good matchup there.
Okay,
All right.
Fair enough. What's the age of Gomez?
Who knows? Whatever it's listed, it might be older.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting Luis Ortiz vibes there.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on. What was the other fight?
Virgil Ortiz versus Stanionis, rescheduled for the third time.
Third time.
Third time's a charm.
Oh, have we spoke about this twice before then?
I'm not
I
sure.
think we've mentioned it, but we never quite got to the actual date.
The date itself. Okay, well, it's upon us. It is this Saturday coming, Virgil Ortiz, Stanionis. Joshua, give us your thoughts and prediction for this one first.
I think matchup-wise, on paper, one of the absolute best fights in boxing. The fact that we're getting these two guys going at it with each other at this particular stage. So one of the best fights in boxing, a top 10 fight, arguably top 5, because Emmanuel Stanionis, he showed that he was the real deal in his last fight when he took out Raza Batayev, and took him the distance. I was high on Batayev because I knew that Batayev could punch. And he was a very persistent guy because I was watching when he fought Alexander Vesputin. That ended up being a no contest because Vesputin popped on a test. But Vesputin, very solid boxer overall, very skilled guy. And Batayev gave him a run for his money. And, some could have argued he may have gotten the edge in that. So seeing the way that Stanionis handled Batayev, it was very nip and tuck fight where they were just working on the inside in the trenches. And Stanionis, he didn't back down 1 second. And there was some heavy shots being exchanged between both of them. So I think that's going to make for a very good matchup with Virgil Ortiz. We know the deal with him, a guy who's coming in, who's knocked out all of his opponents. And he has those heavy shots that seem to really crack and put a hurting on guys, even if they're not landing directly in the spot that he wants them to land. So I think these are two immovable forces meeting each other. And to be honest with you, I think it's 50-50. It's hard for me to make a pick on who exactly will win. I think it's a 50-50 fight. And then given, of course, the delays tied to it, it kind of makes it hard just to throw out an absolute pick. I'm going toss-up. I can't. Maybe that's the easy way out. Toss-up for me.
You're going draw.
Draw.
Yeah, draw. Let's do it. Draw. We'll get the draw, baby. We'll see it again.
Brilliant. Well, just before you do your prediction, Alex, is what I was saying. I checked the odds for this because I thought, this could be quite interested on the odds. You can get 3-1 for Stanionis if you're that way inclined to have a bet and you think he might pull out a bit of an upset. I thought that was pretty good value. Go on, Alex. You give us your verdict on this one, mate.
Yeah, man. Shout out Majid for stopping by. Appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button, please. I have a lot to agree with when it comes to what Josh just said. 50-50 fight. It's definitely one of the best matchups in the welterweight division, as well as all of boxing. It's just, I'm in agreement. It's tough to pick, but I have other reasons. Stanionis had emergency surgery. He's coming off of 15-month layoff. Virgil, once again, he battled that long ass word that I'm not going to try to pronounce. Um, and also, they said it was due to COVID, which would be like they said he had COVID 2 or 3 times. But yeah, there's a lot of I would say fear about if he's going to be able to make the weight, and are we going to continue
Yeah.
having the fight? But I
Interesting.
mean, I I'm going to go with the young. I mean, both of these guys are in their prime. Virgil's 25, Stanios is 28. I want to see the battle of the jabs. I think they both throw hard, accurate jabs. But I'm gonna say it's gonna be a very close fight with Virgil just edging it out, whether it be that he earns it or that Golden Boy winning this fight on a purse bid. Giving Virgil extra money to make up for what he's gonna make according to the purse bid splits. Yeah, we could have a controversial fight that we'll have to revisit because we're going to be in this podcast for a long time. So,
Sweet. It's also worth noting there that Virgil Ortiz has already beaten a Lithuanian in Kavalauskas. Is that how you say the word?
Kavalauskas,
two fights ago. So, yeah, he might not be very popular in Lithuania after next weekend. If he does indeed get that win. I think I'm going to side with both of you fellas as well. I think Virgil Ortiz will win, but I think this might be his first points victory that we see. I'm going to go with it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Majid Boxing in the chat also has Virgil. Thanks for stopping by, Majid. Great to have you here, as usual. Okay, let's have a look at the rest of that event, if there's anything else on there. There is a ladies fight, Marlene Esparza versus Gabriela Alanis. This is down at flyweight, so maybe even less known about ladies down at flyweights than just the ladies in general. Josh, can you give us anything on this one?
Well, actually, I'm not familiar with the girl that Marlene Esparza is fighting.
Okay.
But given
Great record.
kind of the dynamics at varying points, I would think that this is probably one where Marlene Esparza is going to come out victorious. So she has 6 knockouts here from Argentina. Yeah, I'm just blindly. I'm going to go with Marlene Esparza. I think ultimately. Marlene Esparza versus Sinesa Estrada is a fight to be seen again at some point. So maybe this leads to that in some capacity. But I'm going with Marlene just based on what I know of her. I don't really know the other girl.
Yeah.
You never know with some. So this girl, she could come out storming, but you never know. I'm going with Marlene in this one.
Well, it's a record made out of Argentina, but they are tough and they can be bangers from South America, but we'll see. Anyone else to shout about on this card, lads, or we are due for wrapping up?
Kid Austin, man. Rodolfo referred to him as that nickname. Floyd Schofield as a dude that Golden Boy signed has been giving him a nice push. I was a little disappointed that they didn't try to get him on the Tank Ryan broadcast because I think that was a missed opportunity for boxing because he is one of the top young cats. We were just talking about somebody at 130, but Abdullah Mason, maybe that's going to be someone we could see Floyd Schofield, fight in.
Okay.
The dreadful buildup of, year after year of building these guys individually to have them matched up, in their prime. So that's definitely one to look out for. And interesting fight on there as well is the Jojo Diaz, who has been dealing with a lot of issues that he said he did with alcoholism.
Oh,
okay. He's got some. He also has a lot of issues when it comes to minors. It's pretty disgusting when you find out some of the details. So I think it's very unfortunate that he's given this shot to be on a card. I think he should definitely be forced. Have forced time away from boxing.
Okay.
Get all that situated to, unfortunately, prove his innocence. Because we got child abuse. We have, images to a child of, his member. Stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's pretty disgusting of Golden Boy to be giving this guy a shot, regardless if they want to support him. You don't have to support him by giving him a nice paycheck.
All right.
Yeah. pretty crazy. Yeah, he's on the downturn as far as I'm concerned as well, and yeah, no expectations for him as far as this fight. But I will say another one as it relates to Floyd Schofield. Him and Keyshawn Davis are going at it a bit, so that may be a potential fight in the future. So be on the lookout for that.
Alex is eye rolling there.
No, not as the suggestion. It's just how Kid Austin and his dad go about it. It gets a little frustrating, I guess, just to watch. It's like, come on, man, you guys are behind Keyshawn, but yeah, I mean, it is the build up. I know they had an interview on a YouTube channel. I mean, it's cool and all, but it's like, yo, get on the level, and then we can start talking. Like, you're a little behind, and it's not a bad thing. It's just Keyshawn has a bigger push, and is on a faster track than you, and that's okay. But I mean, it's just like, yo, you're calling out everybody. You're talking crap. You're pulling up on people, and then your dad's always involved. Just like, man, come on, man, just let's relax. But I would like to see in the future for sure.
Okay, that's great. Okay, on that note, then I think that finishes us up nicely. That's another stream done. It's taken a little bit longer than usual. Again, apologies to the technical issues that we had, but we resolved them, and I think going forward we should be good if it happens again in future. A quick shout out to some of the folks who came by as usual. Thank you very much for showing interest, and hopefully we'll see you back in the future. There's Boz, Andre, who stopped by, C-Dub, Beagle47, as usual, Rodolfo Rivera, thanks for being here, Majid Boxing, who came in late, but good to have you here as well, and whoever else I may have forgotten. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. We appreciate that. Go on, Alex.
I was gonna say, I don't know, maybe you want to save it for later, but what about the announcement of Canelo fighting one of the Charlos?
Let's do it. Let's talk about that, because I only saw that this weekend at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Twitter's been going crazy with these limitations that they've been putting out, so it's turned into a bit of a shit show. I've not really been able to see too much on Twitter, but give us the lowdown, Alex. We've got Canelo versus Charlo. I don't really know much about it. You need to give us all the details of location and where it's going down.
Oh yeah, so they're saying September 30th, right? In Las Vegas is the expected location. And anyway, it's undisputed versus undisputed. When they're gonna have this press conference, they're gonna have Canelo with 5 belts and Jermell Charlo. Okay, Jermell, that is 154 pound undisputed champ with his 5 belts going up. So Jermell's going up 2 weight classes. He's a dude that's been fighting all the guys in his division. He's lost. He's drew. What did he do? He ran him back, and he got the emphatic stoppages. Jermell has been actually calling for this fight. People, they're always getting the twins confused, right? Mm-hmm. They both have been calling for these fights, but Jermell's been the active one. He's been the one fighting the best in his division, and he's been the one that is looking like one of the best fighters in the world. So, man, a lot of kudos to Jermell Charlo getting a big fight, sticking around, fighting whoever they put in front of him, coming off hand injury, and he's fighting a living legend in the sport, Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo signs a 3-fight deal. There's one fight I've been screaming for. David Benavidez. Mm-hmm. Last time I checked, Jermell Charlo is not David Benavidez. I am a little... when I first heard this news, I thought it was a joke. I said, yo, there's no way Canelo has so many guys to fight. He has Andre, Benavidez. He could have fought Morrell for whatever reason. He could have, they talked about Jermell Charlo, fighting him, But yeah, it's Jermell Charlo, 2 weight classes below. I'm sorry if I go on a rant, but, fight after fight, especially as a recent, why is he not fighting the fights we want? Why isn't he fighting this guy? And we make excuses, oh, it's the champion, right? Oh, it's a chance to fight in his hometown. Oh, he's coming off of surgery. Oh, it's a money grab. Now he's bringing up a guy 2 weight classes that has never fought above 154, according to my knowledge. No meaningful fights, at least. And it's once again a fight that none of us asked for. On paper, it looks great. Undisputed versus two current undisputed fighter fight. I'm sorry, two current undisputed fighters. We just watched two former undisputed fighters fight each other, but now we're watching two current ones. So it is a chance at history, but I'm not okay with it, honestly. It's just there's this growing brigade I'm hearing. It's called anybody but Benavidez, and I'm starting to believe it. And but it is a 3-fight deal. Could he fight Benavidez second or third fight? Yeah. Could there really have been a better fight? First one, I think Andre's been around. You say he's horrible, but he's the undefeated 2-weight champion. Like, what box doesn't he check? You're telling me Jermell Charlo's is big ticket seller? I mean, I haven't seen him put 10,000 people like Demetrius Andre did over there in Providence, Rhode Island, in the Dunkin' Donuts Center, or he did near 10,000. It might have been 7, 8. But I hear Jermell Charlo is not doing numbers. When he did the fight in Los Angeles over there at the old Home Depot Center, there was a lot of empty seats, and that's not nothing against Jermell, but all he has is the 5 belts, and Andre has had his career stalled a couple times, but okay, why can't that be your advantage since you're one of the more active? But yeah, that's all I got to say before I just take over.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
That is fine. We like your impassioned speeches. That's great. Have you got anything to add, Josh? Disappointing, excited? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
Well, when I first saw it come across the platter or whatever you call it, I did think that it was Jamal Charlo. That seems to be the rumors that were swirling around there. Now, what I felt about that one was that, Jamal's been out for a good while. I would like to see him a bit more active, but turns out it's Jermell. So I'm in the same agreement that I feel like, there was no perfect setup for Canelo versus Benavidez than Benavidez going through Caleb Plant, someone that Canelo had fought. The two of them pretty much having fought and having had time off in between to where the dates would work out. So I thought that it would be the fight that would ultimately happen. And I'm disappointed in that sense because we're not getting that fight. And of course, we could have gotten Canelo Benavidez and then Tim Tszyu versus Jermell Charlo. That seemed to make a lot of sense as well. And that was going to be a big fight for 154 pounds. But certainly, I'll take it as far as, we're getting this undisputed versus undisputed. It's always interesting. You're jumping up 2 weight classes. And I don't doubt that Jermell, he could ultimately end up there and be someone competing at that weight. But it will be interesting as far as him making that jump right now for this particular fight. But hey, why would he turn down an opportunity at what will be his biggest payday? So we'll see what Canelo does from here. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt as well, but I do not understand why it's not David Benavidez right now, as opposed to Jermell Charlo in an undisputed versus undisputed matchup that, doesn't make a ton of sense overall if you're just thinking about who the two fighters had to take on within their division. But hey, to each his her own, as they say.
Absolutely. And we used to kind of joke a lot that anyone from middleweight up to light heavyweight are all waiting on that Canelo payday. As it turns out, it's down at light middleweight as well. An unexpected lottery win, maybe. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you boys. I guess it's a little bit underwhelming. I did see some comment saying it's in the same vein of Kell Brook moving up a few divisions to fight Golovkin a few years back. Got absolutely smashed to pieces. Do you think it'd actually be a close fight, or do you think it's a nailed-on victory for Canelo?
I think it can be close, yeah. it's just gonna. I don't think it's gonna be that great of a fight to watch. These guys are some of the lower paced fighters. You know, these guys are fighting, throwing 30 punches around if we're lucky. You know, I mean, but because Canelo is fighting a guy moving up, will we see a more active guy? Is Jermel, you know, if is he going to try to pick it up because he knows that, you know, Canelo, that he's faster, he's slicker than Canelo, so maybe he thinks volume and being able to slip shots and counter. You know, C Dub, and I think it's really funny what he's saying, right? It's undisputed versus undisputed, and he's right. It is another historical fight
an
going
accolade.
after.
Yeah,
Right, and it's gonna look shiny. I know it's a great selling point.
yeah,
But I'm a boxing fan, right? You know, I used to be a guy that backed these fighters, but look at the shit that happens when they get all this power. You know, I don't care anymore. Like, it's just, yo, I care about boxing, and it's taking shit like this to really push me towards that, not to be bagging these dudes anymore because I look silly.
All right, fair enough. Well, I think that's a nice place to end. We've had our say. Obviously, as the fight comes around, we can talk about it some more. But yeah, I think it's been a good show. Thank you both for being around as usual. Look forward to the next one. I can't remember what you've got planned for us in future, Alex, but have you got anything planned at the moment that you want to announce, or do you just want to wait?
You know, honestly, I do not. It's been quite a difficult last couple of weeks, so we'll find out soon. No, I'll definitely we'll get it out there.
No problem. That's absolutely fine. Okay then, both. I think we will leave it all there. Again, thank you everyone that joined us in the chat and joined in. We appreciate you all for being here, and we'll see you again in a couple of weeks' time. I think, Josh, have you got a stream coming up over at 86 Boxing?
Yeah, we're gonna actually hop on the stream here coming up. It'll be a shorter one. Just gonna hop on for a little bit. Not a ton of action to discuss, but yeah, just for a bit. So come through if you want.
If you got a link, drop it into the chat. But yeah, if not, you can find yourself. You find your way over to 86 Boxing. Just search for that on YouTube. Josh and Boz are going to be doing their podcast now, so yeah, go ahead over there and join in that one. We'll see you all again in a few weeks' time. Appreciate you all being here. Y'all take care now.
Peace.